Okay. Yes, coming back to where we left, beta, we are here for a purpose. That's for sure that the medium of instruction is English, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to communicate effectively in this language. But at the end of the day, हमारा motive है communication. If you feel at any point of time, I'm going a little fast, or if you feel that I'm using a language which is not much understandable to everyone here, raise your hand. The aim is to be able to stand on your shoes comfortably and with confidence. Unless and until you do so, you will not get hold of the language, be it English, be it Hindi, be it Punjabi, or any other language that you want to. So you need to be in control with yourself first, right, to be able to learn any language. So kahin bhi lagta hai ki what ma'am is speaking is sounding not like English, Greek, French, and I don't understand this, just raise your hand. The same concept can be communicated in Punjabi as well, in Hindi as well. Main Punjabi haan, my mother tongue is Punjabi, so that's absolutely fine, right? And I know Hindi very well. So you can always just raise your hand. My only, what troubles me is when people stop listening, because probably they're not able to understand the language, or they're not able to go with the temper that I am trying to inculcate in people. So just raise your hand and ask and ask. Trouble the teacher. Okay. Okay. Moving back, before we continue with the class, what I want you guys to see is there is this tailor-made curriculum which we have designed specifically for you, keeping in mind your requirements. I had some input from your institution about your requirements, and therefore there's this curriculum which I'm going to share, which was specifically designed for your needs. Now that we meet in person, I want every one of you to have a look at the curriculum, read it, reread it, thoroughly padho. The reason is that in case you feel, right, I want your feedback here. And what is the feedback about? If you feel there is any point in the curriculum which needs to be specifically pointed, or which needs to be specifically stressed, you feel that this is your weak area and you need some practice of it, let me know. Also, I'm open to change and additions. So if you feel there is anything that's not there in this course content and you want it to be added, you can freely tell me so. जब ये design हुआ था syllabus, I had not met you in person. Now that we have the opportunity of meeting each other, talking to each other, you can always suggest changes. Am I clear? Right? So I will share the curriculum, because actually you should know what we are going to do. It should be crystal clear. Yeah. This is your curriculum. Is it visible to everyone? Yeah. You can just start reading. I think you can read till module 2. What is important are the modules. So I'll just scroll down the screen. So what is important are the modules. You can just read the modules.
Can you zoom in a bit?
Just a minute. I think there is some comment. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Should I just roll it a little up so that it's the first module is visible? Okay, people who are there with me online, I hope you can have a look at the curriculum that has been specifically designed for your needs. Please have a look at this curriculum. You all have my email account. This is particularly for people who are there with us online. So in case you feel there is any specific area from this module which needs in-depth study and analysis, please let me know. Also, if you feel there is any other area that's not mentioned in this curriculum and that needs to be touched upon, that's your weak area and you need it to be brushed upon, please mention it, mention your name, And please shoot me an email.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Just don't read, also reflect. The reason we are reading is that I want your input. Is it fine? Is it not fine? Is there anything specific you feel? If this is my problem area, ma'am. And then when I say I want your feedback, each and every one is an individual. You can have different weak areas in this curriculum. So let me know, right? So that I get a fair idea how I need to continue with each and every one. जरूरी नहीं है सबकी सेम वीकनेस होगी. There might be some people who feel they are good at writing the language, but they're not good at speaking the language. Or others might feel that they're okay with everything, but the grammar troubles them. So just let me know your weak areas. Just go. Is it down? Yes. Okay. Anju, I want your input. What do you feel?
I was just waiting for the regulation of negative emotions in communication.
Okay. I think negative emotions have to be controlled whatsoever. Whether it's communication, whether it's your personal life. Even if you're not uttering it here, it has to be settled here as well.
My problem was not it coming out too much, it was just keeping inside a lot.
That is what I'm saying. That even if it does not come out, right, it has to be controlled within. We will work on it. See, Kirti, the only reason you have negative emotion is a sense of low confidence. Negative emotions start coming in when you feel that a person or a situation is threatening. Insecurity, it's threatening. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to overcome that. And we will overcome that. Don't worry. Right? We'll probably talk the last day of the session and then we'll ask Kirti, right, about her negative emotions. Anji. And unless and until you're corporate, I think if you've read the entire thing, do you see there? Again, what I say that if I come here and continue doing the blah, 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 nothing is going to happen. The entire thing is practically oriented. It is for you to speak up. And I repeat for people who were not there yesterday, it's always good to control your addictions. Huh? Mobile phone side पर रख दो. ठीक है? When do we get a chance to communicate with people? So easily. In such a fun manner. So just gear up, right? Be in the class. This is not a boring class where I'm going to say, ये लिखना है, फिर ये आंसर लिख के दो, nothing like that. So communicate, participate, right? Is there anything else that I can do to motivate all of you?
I think what we are doing already.
Okay, so sit straight, right? Let me see people, right, who are attentive, who are graceful, yes, and whom I feel that I should talk to, whom I feel that I should communicate, right? अब मेरी बात सुनो. If I come to the class और मैं ऐसे आऊँ, मैं ऐसे खड़े रहूँ, I stand like this and I speak to you. How do you feel? And then I go like this. Keep on doing. How do you feel? So this is exactly the way I feel at times. Do you want me to feel that way? No. Sit straight. You know what we are trying to do here is, class. If you feel that एक दिन interview आएगी, ठीक है, and that will be the very day you will have your shoulders back, right? You will be prim and proper. That does not happen. It's a way of life. And okay, let the interview go in the bin. Even if you're trying to think, I have to do my startup or I have to join my family business, right? Who will not want a son or a daughter with head high, walking straight in a posture that attracts everyone? Even if we leave the parents aside, who will not want to be a girl or a man or a lady, which everyone wants to do? Yes or no? Right? So what you need to do is sitting prim and proper, sitting in a proper manner, speaking in a proper manner. This has to be inculcated in your lifestyle. You're not at your home. You're not in the comfort of your drawing rooms. You are in a formal situation. So this habit of behaving formally in a formal situation has to be imbibed here. ऐसा नहीं होगा one fine day, you are doing a startup, and even if you do a startup, you need investors. ठीक है? You're talking to someone, or you're trying to pitch in your idea, or that very fine day, I'll be prim and proper, I'll talk in the correct manner. वो नहीं होगा बेटा. That will not happen. Make it your lifestyle. I'm not saying that go home and talk to your mother like that, right? We can't be doing this with our parents, right? They can clash up any which age, even today, at this age. And I told you, I'm still young. When I say at this age, does not mean that I'm not young, but I'm hell scared of them. So they can thrash you at any moment, whatever may. There are some kind of formal etiquettes and there are some kind of informal etiquettes. So you should know the balance between the two. Behave formally when you are in a formal setting, when you are in a classroom. And this is the place you start learning how to behave when you are in a formal setting, how to conduct yourself effectively, impressingly when you are in a formal setting. Am I clear? Right? So what we'll do is, I can share this curriculum with you. You can have your time there. You can read it twice or thrice. And if you feel, and if you're not comfortable here sharing it in the class, you can always, all of you who are there with me online and others who are there present here in the class, you can just shoot me an email. Ma'am, this is the area that I want to work upon. Now understand, class, I've had a look at certain things about each and every one. I know each and every one. I'm not trying to scare you, but I know each and every one here. The people who have problems with speaking, there are other people who are confident, but then there are those little emotions, those negative little emotions that they have to sort out. There are some people who have problems with grammar, right? Grammar is a major area. The reason being, grammar is like a foundation. Okay? To be able to converse in any language comfortably, you need to know the grammar of that language. So if you feel that, man, grammar is my area, but for that, you need to approach me. You need to send me an email. That, man, I want to work upon it. I cannot work on you unless and until you want to work with me. So send me an email. I will send you sources. Though we cannot be, we cannot be going into those intricacies of grammar. मैं यहाँ तुम्हें noun verb सब नहीं करा सकती हूँ. But we can always work singularly. I can send you materials. We can have an online class. It can be taken from the comfort of my house as well and your house as well. So we can sort that out. I'm ready. I'm available during the entire course. Unless and until you put in that effort, I cannot reciprocate. I hope you understand each relation is reciprocal. It's give and take, right? So in case you want to extract any information from me, You have to show that kind of urgency. I told you, any new information should tickle you. The moment you see anything new, hona chahiye, bhai, I need to go to the internet and I need to see how is this to be done, or what is it that I do not know. Am I clear? Hello, where were you? Where were you? Where were you?
Now I came late from home.
Do you see how my last sentence scared her? Intonation. Where were you? Where were you? You see that intonation? And we did that yesterday, yes? Okay. What I'm going to do now is, I'm going to go back to the same place where I was trying to be a nice person. Before we start today, let's speak these words loud and clear. I repeat, the medium of instruction is English, and people who were there with me yesterday in the class, and people who are there with me online, and everyone around here understands the fact why English. We discussed that yesterday, and I repeat the line which I love. English is the passport to the world. You want to impress your employer? You want to start a startup? You want to be there? You want to own the place? You need the language. Okay? I'm not saying Hindi is not beautiful, Punjabi is not beautiful. They are beautiful languages. But then this language is also indispensable in the global arena. We cannot negate the fact, nahi bol sakte. And at times the problem is it's not about the language. It's about the fact that when you're not comfortable with the language, you start developing fear. Ye problem hai. The best, what is the foremost reason to learn this language? There are times, dekho, I'm not telling you to tell me your experience, but I hope every one of you will agree with me that there are times you go in a group, people are using this language, and all of a sudden, you were adorned in the best of dress, in the best of clothes, the jacket, right, wearing a Gucci jacket, a Prada shade, and you enter, and all of a sudden, people there are speaking in a language which seems to be alien to your perception. What happens? You lose your confidence. This is the reason. We will, we basically bound this language. We will ace this language. This should not be the only reason to make us feel less confident, right? So this is the reason we are learning this language, and also understand how did you learn Hindi or Punjabi? आप सबकी यहाँ mother tongue Hindi या Punjabi है? Is there anyone else with a different mother tongue? No? Okay. How did you learn it? Was it, if you can recall your childhood, was it that you were just listening to your parents and learning the language?
Yes.
You listened? Were you on a mute mode, like many people here online? No. What were you doing? You were speaking it. Were you always speaking it correctly?
No.
No. You were making mistakes. Do you also recall there were certain words that you uttered in a way that even today your parents make fun of that? Yeah, can you recall those words?
Yes.
Right? So do you see, when you were learning this first language, which is your native language, जो तुम्हारी अपनी language है, you were making mistakes, you were being laughed upon. What did you do? तुमने language सीखनी बंद कर दी? मत बोलते, मजाक बन रहा है. Did you stop learning the language? नहीं. So why are you stopping learning this language? It's okay. You listen, you will make mistakes, you will be laughed upon. So what? The moment you make a mistake, you start learning. So speak the language. कोई बात नहीं. Friends में जाओ बोलो, गलत बोलो. ठीक है. But the day you will be laughed at, you will understand that I was wrong here, and you will never ever commit that mistake. Commit mistakes to be able to learn. So therefore, be it any language, but आपकी first language है, second language है, third language है. There is no limit to the number of languages you can learn. But then you have to make mistakes and improve on it, right? Okay. Hanji. I'll start haunting you now. Simple words, simple English words. I do not need answers in chorus. I want each one of you to utter the word. And if people there with me online, am I audible to everyone, to people online?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, see the throw. I have to move. I cannot be stagnant. I'm not a statue. Right? I have to move. Okay. So you see certain words on the board there, right? And you can see certain words on the screen there. So if people online are interested in pronouncing any one of them, you can just switch on your microphones. Presently, I'm conversing with people in the class. Hanji, raise your tiny hand here before I start recalling your names. The first word there. किसका नाम याद है मुझे? Arushi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am, first one is colleagues.
Okay. Hanji. First one is colleagues.
Colleagues.
Colleagues. The next one.
Wednesday.
Don't you understand the meaning of not answering in chorus? Okay. It's Wednesday. Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. Okay. The next one there. फिर दोबारा chorus. There's some other language that I should speak. बेटा chorus में नहीं बोलना है, इकट्ठा नहीं बोलना है. ठीक है? हाँ जी. Can somebody pronounce it? Do you see जब colleagues बोला तो बहुत ऊंची था. Wednesday बोला तो बहुत ऊंची था. When you spoke this third word, what happened? Why did the tone go low? What does low tone reflect?
A lack of confidence.
Why so? Because I think there is some kind of hiccup there, right? Okay, who'll pronounce? Para try pronouncing the genre. 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 The next one there. Abhinav.
Yes.
Yeah.
Niche.
Niche. Niche. This last E is not pronounced. I. Okay, moving on. Okay, now you will not answer. I will pick and choose people. I don't know your name, gentlemen. Anmol. Okay. And there's, I don't know your name also. Karan. Anmol, Karan. And did we meet yesterday? Yeah, we did meet yesterday. You were sitting here. Okay. Your name, beta?
Rajan.
Rajan.
Yes.
And what was the adjective that you gave us?
Reliable.
Reliable. Okay. Do you see what he's just done? He's given us an adjective. So before I go out today, I need 2 adjectives.
When I gave you one yesterday, ambitious and more.
Okay, you gave me an adjective. What about you? Did we meet yesterday?
No.
No. So think of an adjective before we leave the class. Huh? Hanji Anmol beta.
Debut.
Debut. Perfect there. The next one. Who'll answer that? Just raise your hand there. No. Okay, Hanji beta answer. A lovely. Hanji. No. This is the word जो बहुत बार use करते हो. You know, I know everything. I am the epitome of knowledge. And everything drops there. Wow, क्या word बोला? I am the epitome. It's pronounced as epitome. I know everything. I am the epitome of knowledge. Somebody with a good pronunciation will say कि भैया पहले pronunciation तो सीखा. Am I clear? It's called epitome. हाँ जी, the next one there. Some other people. Sarthak.
What does
Love. Love. What does it mean?
Plumber. Okay, normal plumber.
Sorry. Loud and clear. Loud. Plumber. Plumber. The bar is not audible. Plumber. Ab dobara, if you were to speak to somebody, the plumber has come to my house. Punjabi speaker. Badhiya. Okay, moving on. Hanji, the next word. Looks like a little longish word, but it's not very difficult to pronounce. Hanji, and not you guys. Who else? Sugandha. Hanji. Okay, can we go to the next word there? No.
Wait.
No. It's pronounced as key. Key. What is it? It is basically, you should be remembering it, Apala. We had a chapter there in your compulsory English. It's an area where the ships, they get unloaded. So it's that platform which is called the quay. And we come to this
Then what is actually key pronounced?
quay.
Key.
Quay.
Is it something?
That's also key. That's also key. That's the beauty of this language. K-E-Y is also key. Q-U-A-Y is also key.
Is it related to Q? Q.
I would have to see the root of the word, right? The roots of the word, where it comes from, right? It could be a probability, but we need to look into there. Hanji, the longish, handsome word.
Rendezvous.
Okay.
Rendezvous.
Rendezvous. Rendezvous. Now, class, again, do you see these words and do you see that each one of us here was not comfortable with all these words?
Yes.
And these are just 10 of them. The vocabulary of the language is infinite. This brings us to the fact, what I introduced yesterday, it needs practice. I'm not telling you that go home, pick any 10 words and start practicing. There are times you're reading a document, yes, and you feel there is this word that I'm not clear about. You should not, again, the word should tickle you. ये नहीं कि कोई बात नहीं आता, ऐसे ही पढ़ लो जैसे आता. No, that should not be the way that you learn a language. And then I again say, reading can be from any source. You're reading a Twitter update, you are reading an Insta, something posted on your Instagram, some Insta post. When you read it, if there's any word you feel is not clear, meaning clear nahi hai, pronunciation clear nahi hai, you should go and look up the pronunciation in an online talking dictionary, and you should be able to look at the meaning as well. And the best technique here is LRRC. You listen, you repeat the sound, you record your sound. Once you record your sound and you hear it again, you will be able to comprehend how correct you are. Am I clear? So therefore, can we agree that this language that we are trying to learn is delightfully complicated? You see the paradox here? Something complicated, but it delights you. Right? It's like something who's a wise fool. Yeah? Or to explain you better, I close my eyes so that I can see him. Is that possible? That's absolutely possible. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Coming back to where we left, task 2. You've not even done your task 1. Task 2. And you're supposed to speak these words. I repeat, you're supposed to speak these words, all the 10 words listed here. You will record the correct pronunciation. How you're going to go about it is, you will hear the words, you will speak them. You can hear them once, twice, thrice, or no matter how many times you feel like. You will then record them, and then you will send it to me. Am I clear?
Yes.
Your first task is you to make a video, right, and speak anything. When I say anything, I want to know one weakness. कुछ भी जो तुम्हें लगता है. Even if you're not at this present moment comfortable with the language, for this first video, I give you the leverage there. Speak in a language you are comfortable with. Before having control over your language, have control over your body, have control over your mind. Speak in a language that you're comfortable with to start with. This is your task 1, and this is your task 2. And I repeat what I repeated yesterday. Devi aur Sajano, ek nikat dwar hai, and you have no exit. I will keep on sitting here. I will make you all sit here till 7, 8, and 9 at night, unless and until I get that task. Am I clear?
Yes.
I'm a good friend, but I'm a hard taskmaster. I see. The motive is to learn. My responsibility is to make you learn, and I will make that happen. Am I clear?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Moving on. Can you repeat, Hanji beta? The 9th word, it's pronounced as rendezvous. 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 कभी कभी बेटा क्या होता है? आप बताओ मुझे मीनिंग क्या है? It's a okay. Now again, see, I get this question there. A very good question. He's actually opened up and he's asked. Karan.
Yeah.
Karan has asked, what's the meaning? This is the kind of learning that we were trying to do yesterday. Now, if there is this word that troubles you, and I'm very delighted with the fact that you're not looking at your mobile phone and trying to find the meaning. But in case you're not in the classroom setting, the moment you come across any phrase, any word that troubles you, you should be looking it up. कितने लोगों को नहीं पता इसका meaning? See, was it troubling you? Is the word troubling you? If it is troubling you, you are on the right track. It means a private kind of a meeting, which is specifically set between two people. So that is the meaning. That's the meaning in the lay language, right? You can all, huh?
Like it.
Probably.
Probably.
Probably. Don't you feel that this date seems to be a very outdated word today? Yeah. So you can always say, I'm going on a rendezvous, right, with my mate. And the friends will keep on guessing. What did you just say? Right? Okay, moving on. So we've introduced you to the task. Once we've done this very quickly there, we have read certain words, and I hope you will agree with me that when you are pronouncing a word of a foreign language, there are two kinds of errors that you're making. The first error is that for a language like English, there is a disconnect between the spellings and the sound. A word like AISLE was iron, not isle. A word like, say, okay, a word like rendezvous, it's not rendes was. Am I clear? Right? A word, okay, by the way, how do you pronounce PENCHANT? That word appeared when I shared the syllabus with all of you. Penchant? It's pronounced as penchant. Right? Penchant. Right? So what we need is that this English language, there's a disconnect between the spellings and between the pronunciation. I repeat, class, to set an impression. I'm not saying you need high-flown vocabulary. All those words that we just read on the screen, they were ordinary words. Colleagues, aisle, all these were niche. These are ordinary words. It's just that even when you're using these simple words, your pronunciation should not be incorrect. So one reason that we make a mistake is that in English, there is no direct vis-a-vis comparison between the spellings of the word and the pronunciation of the word. Therefore, you need to hear the word to be able to understand the word. Anybody here who's done phonetics? Agar dekhoge, whenever you Google, do you see besides the word, there is this language there that is between those slanting quotes? That's the phonetic script. But the beauty of the generation is, even if you don't know that script, there is that another symbol there of that loudspeaker kind of a thing. You just press it and hear it, right? And that's the way you can learn pronouncing that word. The other reason that you commit these pronunciation errors is there is a disconnect in your mouth positions. As Hindi speakers and as Punjabi speakers, there is one way we utter a sound. Why? Because of the influence of our native language. And the same corresponding British sound. We are doing here British English. We're not dealing with English, also has many dialects. We're trying, in India, we speak British English. So what happens is, there is a disconnect between the way the Britishers pronounce the sound and the way we pronounce the sound. So this is another difference. This is another reason that at times, if you were to speak to a Britisher, even if you are using understandable vocabulary, and even if you are using the correct pronunciation, at times you might be incomprehensible. The reason is the way they utter a sound and the way you utter a sound is a little different. We can work on that. We can surely work on that. Okay, let us just see simple words there. And when I say that these words are different, the way we pronounce them, and when I say we all are together, because we all are foreign speakers of this language. None of us present here is a native speaker. What happens is there are little differences there in the way they pronounce a sound and we pronounce a sound. And this difference might seem to be very minute if I'm talking about a single word. But if I weave the entire sentence together, and there are so many differences, it troubles the listener. Right? Let us just try speaking these words. Simple words. Yeah? First word क्या? First word क्या? It's chain. A, ch, a. It's not chain. ये दोबारा हमारा पंजाबी. Blood is speaking. Chain. I wore chain. I wore a chain. Gifted by. So I wore a chain. Am I clear? Okay, moving on. Okay, this was near. It's not pen. It's pen. Pen. See, what you need to understand is, again, when I say the beauty of the generation is, you have even sources online where you can hear the person speaking, right? You can look at the video and hear this person speaking. So it's not chain, it's chain. It's not pen, it's pen. 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 There's an aspect. Pa, pen, pen. These are little intricacies that you need to learn, right? Moving on, Hanji, the next one. Just as it's not chain, it's not day. It's day, day, day. ये एक general error है. You can always try inculcating it in your speech. We have a propensity of using a जहाँ a use होना है, right? We say take. It's not take. It's take. Take. We say make. Please make this for me. It is please make this for me. Make. बहुत subtle difference है. But if I was to say the entire sentence, pronouncing all the sounds incorrectly, I'm not saying you won't be understandable. देखो understandable तो तुम जो आज भी English बोलते हो वो भी है. But we are here for a purpose. We are not here for a purpose that you speak understandable English. We are here for a purpose that you speak impressive English. Okay, moving on, Hanji. Please इसको मैयर मत बोलना. Measure. It's measure. Measure. It's not measure. जो last र होता है, that's never pronounced. When the word is in isolation. I repeat, when the word is in isolation, मैं अकेला word बोल रही हूँ, that r in British English is never pronounced. Again, when we pronounce that r is the influence of our native language. So it's not measure, it's measure. Measure. The last r is not audible. Ka. It's not car. It's ka. Am I clear? Ka. Isolation. Okay. For example, I drove my car to the nearest market. I drove my car to the nearest market. अब ये देखो. I drove my car to the nearest market. I drove my car to the nearest market. I drove my car to the nearest market. Market. It's not market. 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 The best way is listen to BBC News. News नहीं सुन सकते. Make it a point that, and this is just about developing interest. Make it a point that 30 minutes every day you are going to browse Netflix or Prime Video, whatever you're comfortable with, and you are going to see a show in English. Sirf ye kar to start with.
Like we are interacting with people of India and everyone will be having the vocabulary, the pronunciation that we have.
No, you're mistaken.
I've never seen anyone different other than you.
No. It's just that people are different. You don't recognize the difference. Now, if I was to, no, how do you understand that I am different?
Because the way you're speaking.
Okay, so the way I'm speaking, haven't you met anybody speaking in the same way? No, that's not possible. See, and even if you've not found anybody speaking that way, so that's all the more reason to learn the language. You are going to be the one, right? Now, don't you, but a path only. If I was to come here and I was to speak Punjabi in a way, my curiosity that will you come out with me and then, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ market? Does it sound good? Every language has a temper. I told you yesterday, every language has a beauty. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When you go, मुझे नहीं पता है what is your aim. If you aim to go on, to be on that mediocre kind of a level all your life, I don't think that should be anybody's aim in life. I believe here that people who are sitting with me want to be at good posts. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to make an impression. And I told you yesterday also, even if you leave the professional domain aside, don't you want to make an impression when you speak? when you walk, when you talk, when you look at people. And again, अगर हम English सीख रहे हैं, why not learn it the correct way? Am I clear? Okay, moving on. Continue. Fight. एक ट्रिप देती हूँ, 3 चीजें करो अपनी लैंग्वेज में. ए नहीं होता है, ए ही होता है. So the next time you start speaking English, एक सेंटेंस भी बोल रहे हो, consciously देखो, instead of saying a in words, say a. अब इसका मतलब ये नहीं है पेन को पेन बोलोगे. Am I clear? Right. So you have to be very judicious here, right? Another thing is, whenever you utter these two words, fur and bur, you will bring your upper teeth and you will make them touch your lower lip. It's not fur, bur, it's fa, ba, fa, ba. I'm fine. Will you have some wine? I'm fine. Will you have some wine? Wine in the end. Am I clear? See, even if you think that tomorrow I'm going to open up a restaurant, right? And you have some clients there, and I think when you start your business, you want to be there. You want to impress your people there. So if you go and say, "Are you fine? Will you have wine?" So that's not the way you speak that language. We have to boring it. But then there's no way out. We have to speak that language. So little tips there. For or verb ko hum bolenge per, verb, right? I'll keep on giving you these tips there. And हम a नहीं बोलेंगे, हम बोलेंगे a. Make, take, bake. I'm baking a cake. I'm baking a cake. A cake. I'm baking a cake. Yeah. I'm baking a cake. See, again, we meet for 1 hour. This exercise can be done for, say, about 5 minutes. बाद में क्या? The best way, again, I say, is watch BBC News, but I think that's a troublesome area, and that is something out of the box that I expect from all of you. You can at least watch television, British English serials with subtitles. Subtitles पढ़ने में मत time waste कर देना. Hear it out. Am I clear? So just hear. The first started with 15 minutes. It might seem boring. अगले दिन 16 कर लो minutes and just listen. Let it just play. अगर कुछ और भी करो, even if you are on the phone, let it just play. And I'm trying to tell you, I'll assure you, it will work wonders. Just play and listen how they speak. Am I clear? Right? Okay, moving on. What's the time?
Ma'am, the thing that you mentioned right now, so for someone who's very much beginner and cannot even comprehend what people are speaking, like हम सुनेंगे तो हमें समझ आएगा वो क्या बोल रहे हैं. We are trying to learn the pronunciation. But for someone who cannot really understand words in between and has a lot of problem, would it work for them as well?
As in someone who cannot understand words.
Let's just say.
Are you trying to speak if you're speaking to a toddler?
Maybe or someone who's very not so.
See Apala, listen here. I never negate the fact that the purpose of any language is communication. Okay? Even broken English is understandable. Even if I come here and say, I here come to English teach you. You understand?
I'm saying a person like that, it will work for that.
But do you want to impress a person like that with your language? Are we seeking to do that? Then don't use English with a person like that. So see, it might be a hyperbole. I might be making an overstatement, but you all have to agree with the fact that even today, this language, and particularly in India, it is equated with your social standing. Mano ya na mano. Okay, I'm not saying in an informal sphere, or there could also be a probability, beta, कि आप किसी company में जाइए and the person who's sitting next to you is not very comfortable with the language. We'll talk about this as well, right? When I say have control over your body, have control over your mind before having control over the language, that is what I'm speaking about. But I will assure you, even if that person is not comfortable speaking the language, if that person doesn't understand the language, then we are done with it. Then we are not using our language. Then we are going to use all the personality development skills that we have learned, right? And then we are supposed to use strategic competence, right? You go all decked up for an interview, my English is now impeccable, right? I'm in the best of my clothes, in the best of my gestures, and I will impress the employer, jo bhi ho jaye. And you get to know that he's probably somebody from somewhere, some Bihar or somewhere. I'm not trying to make any kind of judgmental comment here, but anybody who does not understand English and that person is going to employ you if you're very good at Hindi. Whatever Ritika ma'am taught us has gone down the drain. What was she speaking that I will be able to make an impression? What you need here is strategize. We talked about strategic competence here. Get yourself together. We are going to speak in a language that you know, right? So we'll just keep the English aside and we'll start speaking in a language that the person knows. और फिर भी एक और बात बताती हूँ, another trick. While you're speaking in that language, 2-3 English के sentences drop कर देना. Something that is not understandable also makes an impression. Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, we're trying to learn this language because this is the need of the hour. मेरे को मेरा सिर्फ ये लगता है, I've encountered so many people who feel that, ma'am, we are very comfortable when we are speaking our own language, but the moment that we have to speak this language, we start feeling jittery. डर लगने लगता है. I'm very confident. I'm very headstrong when I'm in my own. See, everybody, we can't be using idioms like this in our class, but then it says, you know, that apni gali mein to, right? So we want to be, we don't aim to be a dog, though they are lovable, right? They're lovable. I'm a dog mother, by the way, right? So they are lovable, but we want to be a lion, and lion in the field that we speak, in the way that we converse. So that is our aim. Apala, strategic competence is very necessary, right? You should judge the need of the hour, the need of the situation, the need of the listener, the audience, and then strategically arrange what, how are you going to speak. Okay. This is what we were supposed to do today, but I'm not very sure whether we'll be able to complete it. But quickly there, these are the different kinds of topics that we are going to touch on. I want to know the time again, sorry. 12:50. It's already 12:50. Yes. Oh, wow. Time flies when I'm in your company. You could be saying this to me. I'm just giving you an idea there, yeah? You can make the teacher feel happy at times, no? Like, chalo, take it. What we'll do is, we'll keep this for another day. We'll go into something else. What does this phrase mean? Suni hogi English mein? It generally says, you know, unless and until you get into someone's shoes, you cannot experience what they're experiencing. If I have to use a psychological term here, I will say this is the knack of being empathetic. Sympathy is when you feel for people. Empathy is when you feel the same way as the person feels, right? So this means getting into someone's shoes, okay? And they fit me so well. How elated will you be if you try to get into someone's shoes and they fit you perfectly, right? And then if they are branded, you're all the more happy. Free jute milte, yeah? Okay. So they fit me so well, so that gives me an experience of elation. It makes me happy. Okay. Please observe the kiddish things that I have done. And since it is winter, so I introduced the boot as well, right? You have to give credit to the fact that the teacher belongs to a gender and therefore she's a little biased. Don't you feel that, you know, what I've done there? Don't you feel that shoe? That's not even aptly visible. What I'm trying to say is also when you go and approach an audience, there are these kinds of chauvinist attitude that people carry. You have to be careful about this as well. We'll talk about it. Okay. It's time for all of you to do this, what I just did. Let me tell you, people at home, you are saved. Please come to the class. We are missing you. हाँ जी क्या लिखा है बेटा?
We will see in 2 cards.
I just heard an obnoxious word there. Shoot. Yeah, something like that. Fish. Something like that. A synonym. Okay. Yeah, I heard it. The other problem is I always tell my class, I have been blessed with a weak eyesight. I take it as a blessing. But I have been blessed with a keen sense of hearing. And my students suffer because of this. Because what happens is, even when I enter the class, and if they are discussing something at the last seat, I tend to reply. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah. I told you, it's good to scare people at times. Huh? Okay. Very simple. What we are going to do is, you will adopt the specified role as mentioned on the cue card, and you will act it out. Kirti, can we switch on the camera there? And they will be able to see us, right? So you will receive a cue card and you have to act it out. Walk in those shoes for at least 5 minutes. And there should be no problem. They are fitting you very well. Am I clear? So you're going to wear these shoes and they're going to fit you very well. Time देखने से कोई फायदा नहीं. I am here and you have to be with me in the activity. ठीक है? Brace yourself. Yes? Okay. He takes a deep breath. कुछ नहीं है बेटा, it's just simple, right? We're trying to get to know each other well and we're trying to see how to respond in a situation. हमेशा क्या होता है, you go well prepared, right? You will feel, that I will reach this place at so and so time at this and this moment. उसी दिन, your car tire will be flat. So you need to sort things. You need to be in control of the situation, of your emotions, and of what you speak. Okay. Now I want 4 people who are ready to risk their life. Right? हाँ जी. देखो सबको चांस मिलेगा. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. 12:31. I'm okay with it. I don't have a class at 1. Any 4 people who are going to come in front and talk to me. Oh wow. Thank you, gentlemen. I think he needs a clap. Who else is going to come? Tension nothing. You'll enjoy it. Okay, Anji, I need one more person. That's okay. I want it to be. I want your classmates to see. Okay.
Bet she heard that.
Okay, there's no partiality there. Okay.
We're
going to make these cards and you're going to pick it up.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll let you know the situation before you pick your cards. And it has to be spontaneous because these are situations that each one of us has encountered. हुआ होगा सबके साथ? नहीं? You have probably been a witness to it at least.
Yes,
Yeah? And we guys are so inquisitive. Even if you're driving or if you're riding your bike and people are even fighting on the road, you will stop for a moment. Even if you don't stop for a moment, you'll do this. And here, kya baat chal rahi hai? Let us just hear what's happening, right? Hanji. So please come here so that your classmates can see you. Hanji, come here. Are your classmates visible? Hanji, people who are online with me, are your classmates visible to you? Okay, could you give me a loud affirmation because you're not very audible? Are your classmates visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. And I hope you've seen the situation on your screens. So these people are going to act it out. Am I clear? Can I have the cue card? I don't need your introduction. मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. What is the cue card? We'll try to guess it from your acting, from the way you emote. Hanji. Okay. So, I'll say 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, whom do I talk to?
How is this a planned accident which is going on?
Okay, just go. Crash. Go.
नहीं क्रैश हो गया उसके बाद का सीन है.
Crash.
अरे यार, could you not see me coming from that road, that side? How can you take a turn, sharp turn like that? I want.
It's okay. Language is no barrier. Speak.
गाली मत दियो please.
No. Maintain the decorum of the class, right? Those things have to be muted. You have to control your temper.
Yes.
Could you not
यार
see?
मैं अलाउड नहीं है, मैं लिख रही हूँ अभी मिनट अभी साइन होएगा ये.
See, this was the negative emotion I was talking about, anger. I do not know how people.
But you have to
यहाँ पे क्या बदतमीजी तेरे को ज्यादा ही है. क्या यस यस हो रही है यहाँ पे, बताऊँ मैं आपको. मैं वैसे ऐसे बीच में से चीख उठती हूँ ऐसे एग्रीमेंट. नहीं he says whatever I say he'll do.
Very literal. अब देखना गई आपकी फिल्म में.
गागा
Yes. Quickly, we're not wasting time.
Please, we don't have a lot of time.
Others also need a
Please, go,
chance.
go,
Others
go.
also need a chance.
Go ahead.
Okay. I make that sound. Right? The accident has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arey, could you not see me coming from that side? What the hell? I was coming in a proper speed. You cannot take a sharp turn like that.
Sorry बहनजी, sorry बहनजी.
सॉरी से क्या होता है? आपने तो बहन जी के मार दी ना. बहन जी की चोट देखो कितनी लग गई. ठीक हो बहन जी आप?
आपको दिखाई नहीं देता सर? अब मैं वहां से आ रही थी, आप इतनी स्पीड में आ रहे थे और आपने शार्प टर्न लिया.
बहनजी दफा करो लेके.
What just happened? क्या हुआ?
सर ये शार्प टर्न लेके मेरी तरफ आए. आई वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट रोड और ये वहां से एकदम से शार्प टर्न ली.
ठीक बोल रही है बहन जी ना. इनकी गलती थी. बहुत तेज चला रही है. देखा? मैंने देखा है. मैंने अपनी आंखों से देखा. इनकी गाड़ी मतलब रोकी नहीं इन्होंने. और उसके बाद भागने को फिर रहे थे. हेलमेट कहाँ है मैडम आपका? उन्होंने भी बैठ में नहीं थी सर.
बैठी मेरे साथ.
नहीं मैंने देखा सर. आपने मेरे जस्ट सी द सिचुएशन. आपका हेलमेट
वो
कहाँ?
पड़ा सर उधर. आई क्रैश नीचे एकदम. मैं गिर गई. मेरा
बच गया
सामान
सर. हेलमेट टूट गया. देखो सर. लेकिन मैडम आप तो रॉन्ग साइड से आ रहे हो.
कहाँ रॉन्ग साइड से आ रहे
देखो तो सही.
इन्होंने शार्प टर्न ली. मेरा तो रोड नहीं था.
नहीं मैडम आप तो
Sir,
रॉन्ग साइड से
मैं-
नहीं
Okay. Let us just try using the other language. We'll go slow. हाँ जी. हाँ.
आपको मैडम
Other
और बाइक
language.
दिखने
Other
आपको
language.
मैं
Other
सीधा
language.
जा रहा हूँ.
Other language.
चेंज योर लैंग्वेज. Can't you see madam and bike come?
Sir, I'm going straight.
I also saw that the ma'am was coming on the wrong side.
I was coming from. That is my lane. Can you not
And I
see?
was on a phone call also.
I was on a bike. I cannot be on a phone call.
You want me?
Just
I was
show me
speeding.
your phone.
Airport,
Show me your
airport.
phone. Man. Just show me your phone. Can you please open? No.
Last call is Sandeep.
Open your mouth and speak.
Last call is Sandeep Man, I think so.
Open
You
your mouth.
want Sandeep Man.
Open your mouth and speak. When you speak, you should be audible.
I think it's just your fault. You are just on your call. I can just see when the accident happened. Just
10
2
minutes
to
ago.
3 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Sir, you just said. Abhi, initially you said that you saw him coming. taking the
Then
shot.
I also saw the policeman coming. But देखिए मैडम आपकी गलती है.
No, the language.
This is.
No, but
I think it's your fault, man.
Nahi, sir.
Please,
I cannot.
You
It's not about the gender. I think it's completely your fault. You are just on your phone.
Okay, we change here. All the 3 men become gentlemen, and they see the lady who had dropped, and they say, "It's okay, man. Please change your tempo. Go on."
It's okay, man.
Is it? Is it?
Please be careful next time. Just try to be gentleman.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry. It won't
Just
be happening
respect the
again. I was
girls,
speeding.
respect the ladies. Okay.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, respect
Thank you.
ladies.
Thank you. Do you see what happened? Do you see what happened? They were fighting. And the moment these men changed their temper, the lady said, I am sorry for my mistake. And all of a sudden, the beauty of agreeing to your mistake and carrying on. Again, we're trying to act, make yourself comfortable in the act, and then try using the language. Okay? We're not in a theater class. Our motive is the language. And what happens is, if you try to learn language in a prescribed manner, कि मैं आज 4 sentence learn करूंगी, नहीं होंगे. When you try to learn a language in situation, words start flowing. So that's the way we read the language. Hanji, I want. Let's just read the situation. No. We won't read the situation. People will not come forward then. Any 4 people? People will not come before. Quickly. Jaldi. I'm not able to recall. I need 3 people or 4 people. Okay, let us just see. Oh, this is easy. I need one more person. I'll come. Okay. We are going to adhere to the decorum of the class here, right? And we are trying to see how even when you're in the company of your friends, it's absolutely possible to use this language. Am I correct? 3 friends, right? Yeah. And quickly there, we'll make the act to 3 minutes. So that there are 4 situations and everybody gets the chance. Huh? Next one. Okay. 3 friends. The next one is yours. And it's a nice one. Yeah, the next situation and all is yours. Okay, let's start. I hope you read the instructions there. 3 friends are having great fun together, dancing on loud music. When a neighbor knocks.
Music?
Yeah.
Dance.
Knock over.
Dance to the music. There are times in life. No. Listen here. You don't need music. Let me tell you. There are times in life when the music happens. I hope all of you have seen Karan Johar's movie.
One side love.
No, one side love. We're not going into those intricacies. But do you see that?
Yes.
Can you feel that?
Yes.
Yes. So the music is not going to happen. 3 friends are dancing, enjoying, and conversing in English. Yeah, Hanji, begin.
Please dance.
Yeah. English. Loudly.
Dance, go dance. I think somebody said that today auntie might be there. Hi, Mrs. Verma.
What is happening inside your room?
We're having a
Agitation about
It's 1 o'clock at night. What do you guys
It's
have?
Arjun's birthday today.
Yes.
So
Wait
it is
a
Happy birthday.
Wait a second.
You live in this flat, right? What is a girl and a boy doing in your flat at 1 p.m. at
It's
night?
my birthday.
So
we
go
are
ahead
enjoying.
with this. Why are you actually
Excuse me,
destroying the
ma'am.
sentence
Give
of
him
society?
permission from uncle.
No, and
Yeah.
call him right now. How are you calling people at night, like in your flat right now? Go to his flat.
He just called us. He told us that you have agreed on this.
I haven't agreed on anything like that. I have an exam tomorrow, and I need. And I yes. Have you not heard this time?
It's absolutely possible to have an exam after marriage. Why can't a missus have an exam? I had all my exams.
Guys, there's no missus. It could also be a
It
Mr.
could be anyone.
How
We're talking about uncle.
So yeah, I have an exam tomorrow and I need you to stop this music.
Just half an hour more.
Ma'am, we can lower it down, but we can't stop our party. Sorry.
Yes.
you need to stop your party, and you need to get out from this flat. I'll call that
Okay,
guy.
can you be a little courteous to three friends there and offer something to her so that she tones down the
Now you can join a party for a while. Maybe that could work out. I need a break for my exam preparation for half an hour.
And have a drink.
No, we are venturing into trouble ground now. Okay, we'll stop here with this. Thank you very much. Now, class, here what you need to observe is, yes, please have a seat. You need to observe is when we began with the first act, the act was good. Okay? What you need to understand here is when you began with the act, your first act, there was this inhibition of using the language. Right? And in your second act, we're trying to use the language. We cannot leave our motive behind. We have one motive. So once you come here, I'm not saying it should haunt you कि भाई English में जाके बोलना है. That should not haunt you, but try using the language. Okay? Okay. Who's going to come now? 3 people. I need 3 people. Anmol can come now. Okay? And my militant comes there. And I have another.
मैम स्माइली फेस भी ले लेगा बाहर.
हाँ.
स्माइली फेस भी आ जाएगा.
अभी next में आएगा. Lead character.
Lead.
She will be the lead character. Okay. What we are trying to do here is when I say that you best learn a language when you communicate in it, when you use it, and I think again we cannot negate the fact that all of us have those 24 hours a day, right? Where we meet our friends, where we meet our family. So it's absolutely okay, even if you are sitting on your dining table or on your lunch table and you try using the language. Even if there are people, you have parents at home who are conversing with you in the other language, still, you could make it, the way that you're having classes in the hybrid mode, right? You could make it a hybrid kind of a speech where you converse with them and then you utter a line in English. Start using language even in situations where you have not been doing so. Yes, this seems to be a very homely affair. Yes, and this is something that you do all the time, right? Trying to impress your parents to buy you this and buy you that. But the only difference is that you do it in your native language and you know how to do it so well. Now look here what we are trying to say. All of you at this age, right, know how to impress your parents, right? You know very well how to emotionally tackle them, right? And you're very comfortable with it in your own language. Now let us see if you can make an impression in the other language as well, right? Anji,
मैम ये कितने साल का है सर?
that's upon the mother. बेटा बच्चा ही होता है.
Mother.
आ जाओ.
मैम
Yes,
कॉलेज
please
में
come
होगा
in.
तो उसको फोन दिलाएंगे ना.
Today I even see little, toddlers there, and I do not know. Then this is another topic of group discussion that we can see. What I have seen is mothers, in the wake of feeding their child easily, they hand over the phone, right, or the iPad because they want to save that time where they have to train their child. Everybody is so busy. So what they want to do is give the child the iPad or give the child the phone so that they can just put those, they can just make their child sit there and have all that kind of food, all that food. And this is what they're doing. This is all wrong. I believe it is all wrong. So we can have a group discussion over that. So that's your take, right? Yes, to be very ethical, we can say that our son or daughter is college going and he's demanding a phone. So we are ethical people. Okay? We won't be giving a phone to a school child. Right?
A new phone. I mean, he already is using.
Oh yeah, that's a new phone, right? Hanji. Idhar aa jao beta, so that people can see you. Just be careful that you're visible there on the screen so that people can see you. Hanji. Start quickly there, just 2 minutes.
Which phone you want?
Mom, I want a new phone.
मॉम से क्यों बात करनी है? मेरे से बात करो.
No, maintain the language.
No, ask your dad. Yes, ask him.
No, we're not laughing there. This is a serious issue, right? And even if you feel Do this.
Yes. Which phone you want?
iPhone 12, the latest one.
No, I don't have an iPhone 12.
What's its cost?
It's around 130.
Okay, so it's more expensive than you.
How can you even say that?
No,
But I feel that I hope your parents don't talk to him in the face.
मम्मी बात करती
Okay, I want you guys to be a little loud. I can't hear. I'm going there,
Okay.
right? And I want you guys to be audible.
which one do you want?
I got an iPhone 12,
I can't hear you.
the latest version.
You are in a college. You are
You're
not
not
working.
audible, Rita. You're not audible.
You are not in a college. You are working. You are in a college. You are not working.
Yes. But
So I cannot.
you have to earn it.
When I'll be working, I'll buy a car of my own money. Now I want a phone from your money
Which
because
phone do you
I
own
got
right
good
now?
grades.
Which
And-
phone do you own right now? Tell me.
OnePlus.
Abhinav, when you speak, open your mouth a little more. Right?
Which
One-
phone do you own right now?
OnePlus,
And what does it cost?
55.
55,000. So now you want a phone that costs double.
Yes.
It's more than cost of both the phones we own.
So you can afford that.
No, we cannot afford that.
What are your
No,
grades?
dad just retired and he has got his
Exactly.
pension money.
He has
He
retired.
has got
So
his
I
pension
would
money.
invest
right
on
now.
myself. Now I would. How I will invest on you.
You are just
No, what do you want to invest on yourself now?
I would buy a phone for myself.
You are already having an iPhone.
No,
you are
I
already
will
having
have.
an OnePlus.
So I want to buy a new phone. It's all 5 years older phone that I am having right now.
मम्मी
It's
तो
hanging.
strict नहीं होती, पापा strict होते
Okay,
हैं.
strategize, give your son an aim, and then promise him that you will give him the phone.
Okay. So you give us good grades in your results.
You
and we
prepare
will-
for
No, you
exam.
said in plus 2 also the same thing. I gave you the good grades in plus 2.
No, you
now I get
prepare.
into a
You
good
prepare
college.
for MBA and get into IIMs. Then I will buy a phone.
No, I'll get into IIMs. Then you will say that get into a
No,
good
no,
company.
I-
Then I'll buy you a good phone.
No,
No, how
He's
can I believe?
promising you. He's promising you. Talk to him. He promised you last time.
So you promised me the other last time that you will be giving me a phone when I get
I
into a
promised
graduation
you.
college.
I guess that's it.
Okay, Anmol, simmer down and agree with them. Quickly. No,
Okay,
no,
so
no.
we
It's
want
just you.
we want
Simmer
buy you
down
a
and
phone.
agree.
We
That's it,
want
they
buy
don't
you a
agree.
phone.
Okay, if I get good grades and I prepare for MBA and I get into IIM, then will you get me
Yeah,
a new
sure.
phone?
Sure.
Yes, sure. Give us good
Thank you.
results and we'll buy it.
Thank you so much. Now, did you see what happened at the end? Now, if this conversation goes on unrelentlessly, is there a way out? No. Again, when you are in a situation, right, even if you are in a professional situation and you get into a tussle where you feel that this will go on unrelentlessly if I do not pitch in a new point or if I do not take it some other way, you again need to strategize. Beta jitni marzi language seekh lo, whatever may you learn, you have to live up to the situation. Every situation demands a different action. Very quickly there, before we say bye-bye for the day, before I bid you guys adieu, Hanji people, my dear Sugandha, and my dear smiling smart. Ajo, I want the two of you. Who else has not yet come here? और कौन नहीं आया?
I changed my that very sophisticated son.
Okay, fine. Hanji, anyone else who wants to be here? The good news is any number of people can be here. And look here, we're going to keep it a little low. I told you yesterday also, people might get inquisitive outside as to what is happening here, right? So we are trying to learn, but maintaining a proper decorum. Okay, Hanji, I'm giving you an invitation. I'm giving you an opportunity. If you feel like coming here, you can come.
Family photo हो रही है.
I am repeating, you have to be late. How many people there?
Everybody.
From 13 and 12.
Let's not get into that.
I repeat, keep your volume low because we all are together here. So just keep your volume low. This is fine. It's just that it is scribbled on the other side. You can just open it. I don't want to know. There are certain numbers, right? And only one person will have to check. If it is empty, it's fine. It's a number. Okay. Okay. Now please have a look at the board. Yeah. Yeah, so there will be one person here who's not numbered. I don't know who it is, right? Okay, Hanji. Hanji, okay.
Can we make Sugandha the teacher?
Mom, what number is this? 11. Sorry for the shabby light. Hanji.
You are the teacher.
You want to make her, why is she being targeted?
Because she didn't get the chance.
Okay, so you want to make her the teacher? She will be a smiling teacher. The teacher is undertaking and she has to say no.
Who's
She
the
will be
teacher?
a smiling
Perfect teacher,
challenge for
madam.
her.
I know.
Do you want to be the teacher?
Teacher must
Okay,
be
Sarthak will
someone who
take.
can handle all the stuff.
Go there. Go there, yeah, in the middle. He takes the center stage. Yes, maintaining the decorum. Now please listen what we are trying to do here. We're not going to defeat the purpose of the entire thing. Do you see here all these situations are different?
Yes.
Right? The first one teaches you some kind of rote sense. Right? Do not lose your temper. While you are in a situation where it is very convenient for you to do so. The second tells you that even if you are in an informal situation, it does not give you the authority to misbehave and again lose your temper. Then you were in a very, I can say, in the most informal of situations when you are at your home talking with your parents, right? Now here you are in a formal situation. Okay, I hope you understand that if you were to make such a request to your teacher and you were to go to anybody, we won't be naming people here, and if you were to say, hi there, hey dude, FYI, I don't feel like attending the class today, I gotta go. I hope you don't do this with your teachers, right? So please, now here you will use the language, you will employ the language in a formal conversation, right?
Can we
This
start?
is the first time I take a seat and you guys will stand. Hanji, start.
So class, as you all know, we have an test tomorrow or next week. Test next week.
Okay, Sarthak, I want you to be more authoritative.
So class, you all have a test next week, and the syllabus you all know. I told you the syllabus just right now, Sugandha. What is?
But sir,
where is your focus?
But you just said that after finishing the syllabus, the test was after 2 weeks. But we have just finished the syllabus
So
yesterday.
you just got
Okay,
your
now
holiday in
here,
between.
now here, sorry to interrupt. Firstly, whenever you're speaking to a person in authority, you cannot use your hands like this. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Excuse me, sir. We just want to say that it would be too early to take this test next week. Is there any possibility that we could, postpone?
I'm already giving you a week of what all do you want.
So
So we have other assignments.
One by one, please.
So we have other assignments to complete. Can you please postpone the exam?
This is all you learn in MBA. Time management.
But sir, you already know the syllabus is too lengthy. Like we have just finished the syllabus in 5 months. How we can prepare within 1 week?
So if we have
That
a
is your
seminar
problem.
on
I told you to
that,
revise.
But sir, it
every
was
time I
your
come
words
in the,
only. You
every
said
time I come in the class, I give you the last 15 minutes free to revise what we do in the class. I give you time for your doubts.
yes, sir. I appreciate.
What is the problem now? Sorry.
Another request request, sir, if you could just postpone the assignment that has been given before the test, that would even
I will be
help us.
calling your names, and the moment I call your name, you'll start speaking. Am I clear? Right? Apala, speak.
Sir, we also request you to give us a doubt session since you have your class next week itself. So we'd like a doubt session
Abhinav?
and then
Apala, that can be arranged.
Also, you can just postpone the assignment or test. We cannot have both the things aligned in the same week.
Assignment is due
So we
Wednesday.
have 2 tests already scheduled for the subjects next week, so if you could please postpone.
Sarthak. I know.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Can you repeat?
Sir,
Too much.
Hanji.
sir, we have 2 tests already aligned for the next week for the subjects, so if you could please postpone your subjects test.
No, as I told you, I have given you enough time.
sir, we'll be glad if you consider all our points.
Now here, he's speaking. I called out your name, right? So what you're doing is you're cutting him, right? And he's a person of authority, right? Let the person finish, or even if you're trying to say something in the middle, you'll say, "Sir, can I make a point, or can I add something here?" Am I clear? Okay. Hanji, Abhishek, Abhinav. नहीं अभिनव तो हो गया. Karan.
So, it was a hardly request from our side, like everyone in the class is in this hard position.
Hanji, Singla sir.
Sir, after 4 days, my ex-marriage is there.
That's not an issue to be discussed in the class. Please maintain the decorum.
Arushi.
So adding to my point, I would like to say that the whole class is not convenient in giving the test, so kindly please postpone.
Lovely.
Sir, kindly postpone the test. We'll cover up the next chapter as well.
Kirti.
Sir, if postponing of the test is not possible, could you just eliminate some of the syllabus? That would also be a great help for us. We
Mr.
would be able to-
Reliable.
So I think it would be so early to conduct this test. We might not perform very well.
I'm giving you a week. What else do you want?
The good teacher agrees.
Sir, दारू की बोतल लेकर मान लो.
No, not this.
I don't drink and you
No,
are
no,
now
no, no.
not giving the test and I'll not hear it.
No, I always say, don't. Hanji. The good teacher agrees.
Okay, so as you all are requesting me to postpone the test, so the test is 2 weeks from now. That is the first week of Feb, and no delay on the assignment. I want it by Saturday or Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Abhi, thank you, Thala. There was so much of effort we put into it, right? And the thank you was thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Do you see that thank you is not very courteous? When you greet someone, there are 2 ways that you greet. When you use a falling tone, right? There's one emotion that you let the other person hear. And when you use a rising tone, there's another emotion that you make the person hear. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You get that? So when you are being courteous, right? When you're thanking somebody, it should be a genuine thanks, right? Can I get that thank again?
Thank you, sir.
Not a sing song. You don't have to sing. Okay, thank you very much. You can please go back to your
Thank you,
class.
ma'am.
But I just remember one thing, that there are always home manners and there are company manners, right? And this is the subtle difference that you need to understand. The way you converse at home is very different from the way you converse in a formal situation. Adopt the language. The next time we meet, I am going to ask you how many times you use the language. You have to use the language, whatever, right? You all have my email IDs, right? You can always shoot me any question. If you are comfortable in giving me a daily report and say, ma'am, today I used the language for 6 hours, you can be doing that. You can trouble me. I have all the free time on earth. Am I clear? Right? So we will be meeting sometime. I do not know whether the date is confirmed as for now, but we will be meeting again. So up till then, there are 2 tasks. There is a high probability that we meet next week, not this week, because I have a couple of other classes lined up. So we are meeting next week under all probability. What you are going to do is, before I come to the class next time, I want the 2 tasks to be done. Am I clear? You will do the 2 tasks together. Kirti will post it on the group. Also, you share your number with me so that we can be in contact. 2 tasks there, task 1 and task 2. I'll just frame a message and I'll message Kirti. She'll give it in your group, right? She'll add it to your group. Make a video and an audio and together send it under a single mail. Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes, no.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Thank you so much. That will be all for the day. People who are there with me on the online class, we're done with the class for the day. And I will be meeting you sometime in the next week. Bye-bye. If you can hear me, can you just switch on your microphones? They can hear me there, right? They can't hear me here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye. See you, and hoping to see you on the campus soon. Bye-bye. There's no other mess that we have made.